Hey guys, I'm Babe, Sushi Babe. Now I love dark anime. Usually they're the ones that get me hooked right from the get-go. It wouldn't be a surprise that Death Parade immediately had me interested after watching the first episode. I feel people recommended me to check out this series, but it took me a few days to actually give it a go. I actually think it's quite interesting at the moment. Death Billiards, which was a short film made by young animators, is now adapted to a full 12-episode series renamed as Death Parade, a psychological game series that grabbed people's attention with its groovy opening credits. Death Parade follows the idea of exploring two fleshed out characters in each episode. Yes, we see the same two in the second episode, but that was to explain how these games work, which I will get to later. These people are pretty much dead already, and their soul has been brought to this bar named Queen Dekim. Is that how we say it? I don't know, I'm just trusting Mao at the moment. The adorable fellow here is Dekim, someone who persuades the two guests to play a game with their lives at stake. It may involve physical pain or it may not. Throughout the game he does keep information very vague for them. He doesn't tell them that they are dead right off the bat. He doesn't even give them information on what happens if they lose. He just tells them to play it and observes the outcome. He's the arbiter who watches these people and judges them based on their attitudes, behaviors and morality in general. He decides for each one on whether their soul can be reincarnated or sent to the void. Now he doesn't exactly know what they are thinking, but he does know their memories and uses it on them during the game to spice things up. Due to the flaw of this method of judgment, I found it quite interesting to see Dekim's decisions for each individual. Because what he thinks is actually subjective, there is no 100% correct decision. He can make mistakes as proven in the first episode. The great thing about Death Parade is that it makes you think, like a lot. You will have moments where it requires you to interpret things. However, there isn't much freedom to your interpretation, as Dekim and his assistants do eventually explain a few things to us. Okay, here's the thing, I don't think Death Parade is trying to be anything special. It does manage to be both thought-provoking and entertaining, and I reckon it did this naturally without trying too hard. Some people say it's melodramatic, but if you think about the character's situation and their problems, it does make a lot of sense, and they do justify it well. Call the characters bland if you want, but I do reckon that the main focus of the series are usually the two fleshed out characters that are introduced in each episode. The series is centered around them. Dekim observes them, his assistants observes them, and we observe them. They did well on giving these characters enough depth for us to understand these people. For the first episode, we know that this guy has trust issues which caused him to ruin his life. We know that this woman cares about her husband's feelings without him acknowledging it. They are believable human beings, really. So this is why I was pretty much alright that these characters remain mysterious. We don't know much about Dekim, Nono or Kurakami. Calling them plot devices would be a bit too harsh, but they made the show work. Dekim is a bit of an odd fellow. He behaves like a dead potato. I don't know why he gets to have a job as an arbiter, even though he doesn't understand what it's like to be a human. He does get a bit of development sometimes. We see him cracking a bit of a joke, and he gives comfort to others due to him sympathizing with them. He's cool, I like him. I wouldn't mind if they continue their episodic nature by only focusing on the two fleshed out characters, because trying to switch the focus on Dekim and his assistants would, well, they can either do it right or they could do it wrong. I do hope that this show remains to be good, and yes, I do think that is good at the moment. The animation is also good. Nah, not good. It's fantastic. No, I don't suck Madhouse Studios' dick that hard, but I do acknowledge the fact that they have made anime look absolutely stunning. Seriously, they did it again with Death Parade. Everything looks so gorgeous. The background designs, the lighting effects, the facial expressions. Oh my god, I love the facial expressions. It's just so I don't think I've seen facial arts like these other than Death Parade, and I love the way these characters express their emotions. It really stands out and is probably one of my most favourite aspects of this series. One of the other highlights with the animation is probably how flashy these organs look. It does make me cringe in a good way. I don't think that there's much to say about the soundtrack other than that groovy opening. They do present music that you will probably hear from a bar, like your jazzy stuff and such. One of the things that I noticed is that they don't try to make the music stand out during the games, but rather have you focusing on the unsettling events. If you haven't checked out Death Parade already, I suggest giving it a go. Don't worry, you're not going to be attacked with cliffhangers. It does present itself to be episodic. It's just interesting, not extremely exciting. I wouldn't exactly call this a hardcore psychological series though due to its premise. If you do want a real psychological anime, I would recommend watching stuff like Perfect Blue or Paranoia Agent. I do reckon that Death Parade has a good idea on psychological themes though, and hopefully the novelty won't wear off. I'm not going to give this show an impression score like I did in my other impressions video, because I realize how dumb it is to score a show even though it hasn't finished yet. This has been Sushi Babe, and I hope you have a good... I think of myself as the main character, being surrounded by girls, because I've had many experiences with girls and dated with loads of them, and Yu is such a playboy and I'm a playboy as well, so you know, he's the only male character I like. He also reminds me of Kirito, and Kirito's a very good character, so it has good fan service and use them in the most good way as possible. The fan service conveys a message on how these girls want Kirito's dick, and you know, in real life girls want my dick as well, and you know, that makes it so relatable, and people just don't like these shows because they're just jealous, but I just don't agree with your opinions. This is very subjective, but you don't know what makes a very good relatable character, okay?
You just walk to your job like nude and all the girls just get on you.